In the heart of eastern Uganda, where lush green fields stretch far and wide, a groundbreaking initiative took root, transforming the way rice is grown and harvested. Welcome to the captivating journey of the Reduce, Reuse, Recycle Rice Initiative for Climate Smart Agriculture, R4iCSA, a visionary project funded by the IKEA Foundation, implemented by Kilimo Trust with NARO, NACRI and Bugizadi as supporting partners. The R4iCSA project is an evidence-based project to identify best practices and is focusing on protocols in Kenya and Uganda. The project is in its phase 2 with protocols in rice-legume integration, promoting upland rice, vermicompost trial, biochar trial, and intermittent watering trials. Among the protocols mentioned is the rice-legume trial with 6 sites in Tororo, 6 sites in Ngenge, Kwen, 5 sites in Upper Kwen, and 6 sites in Mutaleja, with one of our protocols in Tororo ready for harvest.
This trial has, we're using a randomized complete block design where we are testing 2 rice varieties called Nerika 1, Nerika 4 and Nemuche, but we are planting in sequence with the Mark 4 soybean as a legume, and we hope to do this trial for 2 or 3 seasons. This trial has performed very well. Nemuche and the Nerika rice varieties were adopted because of their early maturity, but we've also introduced Wita 9, which is typically a wetland rice variety, and that one takes slightly longer. It takes about 130 days to mature. The Nerika 4 and Namuche, which are short term and highly recommended for sequential cropping, have already matured at about 100 days. So that's a very good observation that they can be adopted in the sequential system, which will be followed by a legume and subsequently a cereal rice within a cycle of less than 12 months.
This project aims at promoting sustainable agricultural practices through integrating rice with a legume. The legume is to provide nitrogen and nutrient needed for plants to grow. And the unique thing with this protocol or trial of rice legume integration is its promotion of ecosystem resilience and also enhancing farmers' livelihoods through diversifying. A farmer is able to have a legume, that is soya, and also a cereal, which is rice. And besides that, we shall improve soil health when we add these legumes into the rotation. At the same time, we are able to cut on over dependence on the chemical fertilizers.
The legume integration never used to be the case, but for Tororo, we have chosen soybean because there are various legumes. But the soybean has been successful and went through the water stress, but we are even able to harvest. But if it was beans and peanuts, it would just be zero.
We have here a plots of soya. Some we put winter 9, some we put Nerika 4, other blocks we put Namuche. As I talk now, Namuche and Nerika is ready for harvest when winter 9 is in a stage of booting. It is not ready like other varieties.
So the treatment where we are now is with Nerika 4. It has performed so well than never before because the interventions they used was really favoring. You can see it has very large heads and so many panicles. It has done unique things, and even the grains are very too much filled.
The rice legume integration has a lot of immediate benefits, one of which is providing food security for the farmer. The farmer will have a carbohydrate source, will also have a legume which will give proteins for the family. The sequential system also, since we are producing 3 crops in a year, you'll have a higher income from the same piece of land. And if a farmer gets higher income, then of course we expect improved livelihoods within the homesteads, and of course economic development for the farmer from their technologies.
It is new for us here, but some of us we have seen now. We know that if we plant soya and rice in the same garden, we can harvest all.
We hope to promote this practice to farmers through collaboration with Kilimo Trust, so that farmers are able to adopt these sustainable practices. We are yet to find out the impact of this rice legume integration once we rotate for the next season. But for now, it's evident that the good management practices that have been applied are able to give us such a good yield. And it's also evident from selection of the varieties. We focused on the upland varieties, that is Nerika 4 and Namche 5, and a lowland variety, that is Wita 9. And I'm also grateful that through the farmers that have been providing labor, they've been able to learn on the different rice sustainable practices that we've been putting on ground, like timely weeding, top dressing, row planting. Many of them have testified to that. So we hope to scale this out to the farmers once we are done with the next session.
The major challenges that we have seen in this trial is the cost of labor. Rice growing is labor intensive, it's expensive to carry out. Attracting labor has been quite a bit of a challenge. But the beauty about it, if you plant rice like we planted in rows, the subsequent operations become easy. It's initially difficult at planting, but the other operations are quite easy. We've not had a lot of challenges with pests and diseases which are common with farmers, because we are using varieties which are tolerant. The Nerika and Nemiche rice are tolerant, and the rice variety also used, the soybean is also tolerant to most of these common pests and diseases. The other challenge we had here was heavy rains in June, end of June, because this was typically an upland crop, but we had some bit of floods of rains. But it's very impressive that, of course, rice tolerates the rain, but we observed that even the soybean was quite tolerant to the floods, which we had for about 1-2 weeks. From our observations and interactions with the farmers who have been working on the field, they've picked a lot of interest in this trial. And I would therefore recommend that NARO, and together with the Kilimo Trust, should put up demonstrations within the communities to demonstrate some of these technologies to the farmers.
We need to encourage more farmers and upscale some of these technologies to other farmers, because we have about 35 sub-counties here in Tororo, but about 30 of them depend on rice farming. So for this particular case, I would request at a later stage the funders and Kilimo Trust to think of upscaling, and we train other more farmers so that the technology is adopted.
Our applause, our thanks go to Kilimo Trust, iCare Foundation for funding this, the farmers who have enabled it to be a success, the partners, specifically Bugizadi, Dr. Kaira, the district project associate, and the demo host farmers. Thank you very much.
I really thank Kilimo Trust for extending such technologies, and I pray for success, because I've already seen the success. It is only remaining how to inform others who have not been able to see these technologies. But I'm proud of the technologies. Even me personally, I am a trained agriculturist. I have added value in my understanding in rice farming.
I thank Kilimo Trust for what they have done for us in Tororo. I request them to add more training or workshops to these people, this area, to know what to do.
The farmers embraced the ratooning trial, learning to optimize water usage, reduce waste, and maximize yield, all while preserving water resources.
I'm Dr. R4iCSA, a senior research officer with the National Crops Resources Research Institute, and particularly I'm attached to the Cereals Research Program. Now we are partnering with the Kelimo Trust in conducting validation studies to respond really to the climate change challenges of this country, and also to validate and develop information which we believe will support our policymakers in the development of land use within the wetlands. So where we are at one of the research fields, and this is particularly Ngenge in the Kwen area. And this happens to also fall in a new irrigation scheme, the Atari irrigation scheme, because the country is moving towards utilization of wetlands, but only in irrigation schemes. Now, where we are is what we call we are evaluating different ratooning methods. Ratooning basically means you cut back a crop and it regenerates itself for another season. And in here, we are exploring the use of about 5 different ratooning methods, and these will be compared together with the normal rice growing system where a farmer grows one season, plows again, and continues and starts a new process. So the thinking is that through ratooning, actually, there is a lot of advantages, one of which is saving costs, because then the costs of land preparation, cultivation, clearing, buying new seed is not there for the next season. Besides, it shortens your growth period, which will respond to the challenges of climate change, which is the shortened rainfall patterns and the extended dry periods. So ratooning actually gives you a break and acts like a shock absorber when there are challenges within the environment. But more specifically, on the scientific side, ratooning methods actually reduce on what we call the greenhouse gases, which are damaging our ozone layer. And this is a challenge world over, and one of the methods is to mitigate the challenges through use of proper cropping methods. Most importantly is that because the ground is covered for a longer period of time during the growth period, there is reduced evapotranspiration, which is the loss of water. And yet, as we know, water has become a scarce commodity. So in Uganda, there's not been much ratooning, but we hope we hope this work can give them the push to help farmers to therefore meet this challenge and reduce on their costs of production. In here, we have about 4 different varieties of rice, because we don't know yet which is the best for ratooning methods. So we are evaluating 4 different rice varieties. We have the recently released Kafasi 39. We have Wita 9, which is known to the farmers. We have Narrow Rice 1, which is a Ugandan variety. And also we have Kafasi 87, which is under evaluation, you would say.
The biochar trial, which is a natural and carbon-rich substance created through pyrolysis of organic waste, was tried out in different farms, enabling the biochar ley to retain water and nutrients in the soil.
I'm trying to do some experiment here, biochar, plain and fortified biochar. Then we see the outcome of the plain biochar and fortified biochar. Under this experiment, I am with people from Uganda who are coming here every time to see what is going on. Is it going on well or is it not going well? I'm encouraging my fellow farmers also to come and they do what I am doing here.
The R4iCSA project ventured into the vermicompost trial so as to undertake a regenerative, recycle, reuse and reduce strategy to dumping the rice straw but putting it into productive use.
Tugezaako kulaba nti tukozesa naddala ebintu bye tulina bya bulijjo ng'ebisubi biva mu muceere n'obusa bw'ente tubitabulira wamu ne tubivundisa wamu okumala nga wiiki 3 bimala okuvunda obulungi then ne tuleeta mu box esooka yiino era awo tuteekamu ne worms.
With the vermicompost, the farmers discovered the wonders of earthworms. They are diligent workers beneath the soil. These enrich it with nutrients, paving the way for healthier crops.
Worms zino ziyamba okulya naddala emmere esangibwa mu busa bw'ente n'ebisubi ne bibeera nga byonna tolaba bisubi bya muceere era tolaba busa bw'ente. Ebisigalira bibeera bigimusa. Ebigimusa ebyo tubitwala mu nnimiro kati tuli kugezesa kijja kusinziira nti tuteekamu buzito ki mu buli katundu k'ennimiro. Kale n'olwekyo tukoze nnyo kubanga kati nga bw'olaba bokisi so far season eno worms zamaze okutambula okuva mu bokisi esooka kati ziri mu bokisi yakubiri era kati mu bokisi yokubiri era bw'ogikwatako oyinza okulaba nti ziri kumpi okumaliriza okulya mu bokisi eno era worms zino kati oziraba. Kati oluvannyuma lw'okujja wano kungulu worms zino tugenda ate okuteekako bokisi yokusatu ate nga tuleeta biri bye twatabula obuse bw'ente n'ebisubi ebiva mu muceere. Kati wetumala okuteekako nga layers 6 oluvannyuma tugenda okukungula bino kavundiro ono oba ebigimusa bino okubitwala mu nnimiro nga tugezesa okulaba nti tuteekamu bungi ki mu buli kafo k'ennimiro. Kati ekigenda okutukolera kyetugenda okutambula nakyo kubanga tusuubira nti kino kati kijja kutuwonya okugula fertilizers ow'essente nnyingi ate atalabika.
The R4iCSA project has also promoted upland rice through trials to showcase its potential of growing rice without the need for excessive water, proving that even the most challenging landscapes could be transformed into thriving rice fields. With the looming pressing concern of water scarcity, the project also undertook a trial to find the perfect balance of optimizing water usage without compromising the health and yield of the rice crop.
So what we have with us at the moment is evaluating what we would call the intermittent watering regimes. And in here we are comparing two particular water regimes where in summary it's about provision of water and then withdrawing water when the plants do not actually require a lot of water. There are 3 trials within this field. So we have one major treatment where we are using the farmer's common method, where he has water in the field all season round, compared to another where it's alternate wetting and drying. We have short periods of dryness with another short, followed by a shorter period of wetting over the whole season production. And then another one where we think in the middle of the season, you just withdraw water for a short period of time and then the crop continues. Now, in doing that, we are comparing all those against 3 common varieties. And this also serves as a demonstration, really. We are introducing the new rice varieties into the region, one of which is an aromatic one. The other is a commonly recently released one, Kafasi 39, which is aromatic, narrow rice one, which is also one of our own, and then the farmer's own rice variety, which is Wita 9. So we are trying to evaluate how the 3 varieties respond under different watering regimes. And then it has been documented really that when you withdraw water and control its availability, it actually also enhances the health, or greenhouse gases are reduced, which normally damage our ozone layer. So if we can adapt some of these technologies, especially the intermittent watering regimes, it means more water will be available for production, but at the same time we are reducing our negative effects on our environment, and yet without affecting the productivity.
My name is Rachel Ajambo Msasizi. I work with Kilimo Trust as a country team leader for Uganda. And in Uganda, we are implementing the Reduce, the Reuse, the Recycle rice initiative for climate smart agriculture. This project is a 5-year project funded by ICARE Foundation. And we are now in year 1 of implementation of this project. This program is quite exciting for us because it looks at aspects of regenerative agriculture that many programs right now are trying to incorporate in the value chain development. We are looking at the rice sector as a vehicle to agro-industrialization in Uganda, and we are looking at also job creation. So we are developing innovations and innovative products that can be uptaken by private sector. Products like biochar and its use in improving productivity and also helping crops to weather climate vagaries, like for example extreme drought. And we are doing this in rice and in coffee. So we are doing this for rice in Butaleja district, Tororo district and Kwen. And in Kwen we are working in Ngenge irrigation scheme. In Butaleja we are working in Doho 2 and Doho 1 irrigation scheme. And in Tororo we are working in smallholder farmers fields and also promoting upland rice production. For us as Kilimo Trust, this project is really key as it is going to contribute to fulfilling one of our strategic objectives of looking at sustainable communities, sustainable development for communities. We would like to thank ICARE Foundation for giving us the opportunity to not only fulfill our mandate as Kilimo Trust of why we exist, but to also giving us the opportunity to contribute to such an important topic such as climate change adaptation, especially at farm level. We also want to thank our partners, our implementing partners, the National Agricultural Crop Resources Research Institute, especially the rice breeding program led by Dr. Jimmy Lamo. We also want to thank our partners, Buginyanya, the Zonal Agricultural Research and Development Institute, for working with us because these are the 2 research institutions under NARO, the National Agricultural Research Organization, that are actually enabling us to implement this project.
A gratitude of thanks to the ICARE Foundation for funding this project and to Kilimo Trust for implementing the project.